Hey, Steve Magnante here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with another High Octane Walkaround. Now, it looks like a 1965 Mustang GT350, Carroll Shelby's entry into SCCA sports car racing, and it is a tribute. Let's keep in mind, a little over 500 real ones were built, but there's lots of clones, and why not? But here's the thing, in '65, that was the first full model year, if you will, for Mustang production, and a total of 680,989 Mustangs were built in that first model run, which went about 16 months. But check it out. Of those 681,000 roughly, only 77,079 were 2+2s. Believe it or not, they made more convertibles than they did fastbacks or 2+2s. The big numbers were in the coupe, which was sort of the box top Mustang. So these are actually the rarest body style of all in '65. Interesting stuff. Now this one has been given a GT350 makeover. Why not? I believe 562 real GT350s were made. They're $500,000 cars now, up to the stratosphere. So clones are where it's at. And the good news is, everything you need to create a nicely turned out GT350 Tribute is readily available, right down to the Shelby specific fiberglass skin with steel underpinning hood with the Shelby scoop on the top that really works. Of course, the hood pins are a no-brainer, nothing to that. Even the grills and the little separator here, which covers a gap where on a standard '65 Mustang, the running horse corral would go here, but Shelby wanted to make the nose of the GT350 different, so they got rid of that, which left a gap in this piece here, which they filled with that. This is reproduction as well. So again, the real thing, a copy or a tribute, the car doesn't know the difference. Your bank book will. But this one here is just a nicely turned out example. The over-the-roof blue stripes. Let's keep in mind, of course, that in international road racing, white and blue were United States' team colors. That's why, of course, these are Wimbledon white and blue on the top, the stripes going all the way down the back. And the vents on the back of the 2+2, these things look really cool, but they're actually very functional. These allow air to escape from inside. They also have little levers inside. You can open or close these things for better ventilation inside the car. And as with the GT350Rs, which were road race specific models of the GT350, this one has torque thrust wheels all the way around. These are aluminum with modern Bridgestone low profile tires. So this one is kind of duded out for some weekend warrior SCCA racing. We'll get to that in a second. Or daily driving, you choose. But first off, before we go inside, let's look under that hood. Before we lift the hood, we can see here that it's got a fiberglass skin with a steel underlie, which is how Shelby did it back in '65. In fact, Shelby had several different hood variations depending on what supplier could provide what he needed. But one of them, again, was fiberglass skin with steel underpinning, right seen here. Now, of course, the small block 289 was the engine for the GT350. This is a small block Ford, probably a 302. It has an Offenhauser aluminum intake, an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor, and again, the power here is probably 300 horse, which is close to 306 that Shelby had back in the day. In other words, this engine probably runs just like an original did in '65. This one has a nice aluminum radiator here, which is something that was not available in '65. It keeps things cooler. Has an external oil filter we see right here versus being down low. This, of course, allows the engine oil to remain a little cooler, easier to access the filter. High volume mechanical Carter fuel pump right there, which would help to prevent some of the fuel starvation you might have on a road course. So this car has been equipped for some lateral acceleration, in other words, G-forces going around a corner. So this is definitely a very capable daily driver or weekend road racer. More on that we'll find inside. Like every Mustang, this one has a floor shifter. There was never a Mustang with a column shift, which is fine with me. Here's a 4-speed transmission right here. But getting back to the SCCA road race capability, this one has a full roll bar. We can see right here. Here's the bar that goes over the back and runs down into the rear. And so basically with these RJS race harnesses right here and the fuel or the fire extinguisher inside, this is almost assuredly legal for a little weekend action at the road course, and why not? not. Now this one does have a T in the 5th spot of the VIN. It was born a 6-cylinder. Again, no harm done by putting a V8 in this car and turning it into a GT350 Tribute. Again, the car doesn't know the difference. Other details that are specific to the GT350 are this, a reproduction of the original instrument pod in the center of the dash with a tachometer and I believe an oil pressure gauge. The original style Shelby wheel, which is similar to what was used in the AC Cobras. So really nice attention to detail, some very expensive parts. And again, these are reproduction parts in this one, and something that's really just super cool is this here on the glove compartment door, Carroll Shelby's actual autograph. Now we got to remember that Carroll Shelby passed away in 2012, so before he passed, there was a thing where you could send your Mustang's glove compartment door to Carroll Shelby with a donation to his a children's fund, I believe, for sick children. And then Carroll would sign it and send it back to you. So undoubtedly this was sent off to Carroll Shelby. And that's a thing that was done. I would say he did that hundreds of times, if not more, and good on him. But there it is, which gives this Shelby Tribute an extra bit of mojo. But getting back to that roof line, let's check out the outside of this one some more. And getting back to the outside of this car, once again, the 2+2 body style is this graceful fastback. And keep in mind, again, of nearly 681,000 Mustangs built for the 65 model year, only 77,079 were fastbacks like this. Now, it was called the 2+2 because up front there was 2 buckets, and in the back, it was so narrow, there was only room for 2. So 2 and 2 equals 2+2. By contrast, the little Ford Mustang sedan with the box top had a wider back seat, which was a 2+3. So again, if you had a 2+2 fastback, you weren't likely to get your whole family in there. So these were generally bought by people who are single or young people with small children. But again, the 2+2 is the rarest body style of them all in 1965. And of course, on the back, we see the GT350 gas cap and logo here. These things are reproductions, but they're just as good as the originals, if not better, I have to say. And like it should, the rear axle has been replaced from the original 6-cylinder little tiny Salisbury unit to a big old 9-inch out of a Ford Galaxy. So again, this one has the bones of a real GT350 without the VIN, and that's fine with me. Again, only 562 or so of the original things were built. Clones like this or tributes like this, especially when they're done to this standard, are a lot of fun. The beauty here is you don't have to drive it around like you're afraid of a $500,000 investment. These can be driven. And I like to say you either own your car or it owns you. You could definitely own this GT350 Mustang either as a daily driver or a road racer. Pretty cool.